The story begins by showing us Naoya, the protagonist of the anime, who is in a dilemma because he has just been asked to date a very attractive girl, but he already has a girlfriend. Going back in time, we discover that his girlfriend is called Saki, and she is his childhood friend. Naoya thinks he's the happiest guy in the world to be with her, and before the girl went to the club she attends, Naoya said he would wait for her, which Saki didn't think was necessary, and said he could go back alone, as long as he didn't cheat on her. When the girl said this, he immediately apologized for making her worry, so hugging her tightly, the boy said that he would shower her with love so that she wouldn't suspect him. Besides, they were in the middle of class, so everyone was watching, so she asked him to only say these things when they were alone. Right away we realize that Naoya is crazy about his girlfriend, and he doesn't know how to express his feelings very well either, causing the girl a lot of embarrassment. While the protagonist waited for his girlfriend to leave the club, he stayed on the school terrace until a pretty girl appeared and declared herself to him. Returning to where we left off, Naoya found the girl extremely beautiful, and she told him that she had spent the last 3 months working hard to propose. In addition to all the exercises she had done, the girl had also studied cooking and had prepared some very good food for him. Naoya found the girl very attractive and she was extremely helpful, but he already has a girlfriend and said he would never cheat on her. With that, he didn't know what to do, so he came up with a brilliant idea. Naoya asked the girl if she would agree to a 3-way relationship with him and his girlfriend. As strange as it may sound, she said yes, so Naoya went with Nagisa to ask Saki. When they reached the girl, she found Nagisa very cute, and before they could ask for what they wanted, Saki convinced them that they needed to go out together. After going to karaoke and realizing that Nagisa can't sing, they continued to have fun together until Saki tried the delicious food made by the girl. After all this, Naoya couldn't wait any longer, so standing up he said that he wanted to date both of them. And of course Saki's reaction wasn't good, so she punched him. Saki didn't want to accept this at all, as he thinks she's enough for him, which the protagonist believed to be true until the day before. Nagisa butted into the conversation, and when Saki asked if the girl was okay with it all, she said yes, as long as she gets to be with Naoya. The protagonist kept insisting on this and was being honest about his feelings, so Nagisa also started asking Saki to accept. With that, he promised that he would make them both happy by staying with him, so Saki ended up accepting, even if she doubted what he was saying. Besides, they didn't know what to do at the moment, and since Naoya wants them to get to know each other better, he suggested that they move in together since he lives alone. Nagisa quickly agreed, and Saki ended up having no choice but to move in together. With that, the protagonist went to prepare the rooms for them, while Nagisa took care of dinner. However, Saki admitted that she doesn't know how to do anything at home, so they let her rest. After a delicious dinner, Saki went to the bath that Naoya had prepared, so she began to think that a life like this wasn't so bad at all. Suddenly, Nagisa came in to take a bath with Saki, where she realized that the girl had a great body. Nagisa was there because she wanted to tell Saki not to worry about her and to sleep with the protagonist. However, they never did that and never even kissed, which made Nagisa happy. After this conversation, Saki realized something, so she went to talk to her boyfriend. She asked him how far he planned to go with Nagisa, and Naoya confirmed that he wanted to, but not with just one of them, but with both of them together. However, since this situation was created because of him, the protagonist said that he will give up the things he wants, so they won't do anything like that. This made Saki a little sad, but Naoya realized this, and the situation became even funnier. Later, while thinking about the situation she was in, Saki realized that her rival was very pretty, so she was afraid of her doing something together with Naoya, even more so when she said that she would agree to a threesome to make her boyfriend happy. In this way, she was afraid that the protagonist would lose interest in her and only want to be with Nagisa. When they left the laundry room, they came across 3 beds together, and the protagonist did this because he thought it would be a good idea for them to get closer. When they got into bed, Naoya thanked Saki for accepting the whole situation, but since he didn't hear back, he believed she was asleep, even if the girl was just waiting for them to try to do something inappropriate. After that, Nagisa asked to lie down closer to him, and when they held hands, they started saying things that could be misinterpreted. So that's what happened. Saki thought they were doing it, but when she took the covers off to see what happened, she discovered that it wasn't what she thought at all. As a result, she had to lie that she was also needy, so they ended up sleeping next to each other. The next day, Nagisa woke up before everyone else to prepare breakfast, as she wanted to be indispensable, so that the two of them wouldn't send her away. Once everything was ready, she thought of ways to become the protagonist's favorite, so she decided to look at their cell phone history to find out what she should do. Looking through Saki's history, she discovered that all the girl researches is about having her first time, but ended up finding the girl's private Twitter account. She ended up reading the posts, and in some, she praised Nagisa and said she wanted to get close to her. However, the protagonist ended up waking up and saw what she was doing, but when she said what she did, Saki woke up too. So Naoya said that he was looking at her cell phone history, which made the girl very embarrassed. He used the excuse that he wanted to get to know her better, which didn't help, and the girl punched him. She went to sleep to forget what had happened, and Nagisa felt bad about it. The next day, Saki had forgotten what had happened, and when she asked Nagisa which class she was in, they discovered that they were in the same class. However, she hasn't been to school for 3 months, as she spent that time studying cooking so that Naoya would like her. This shocked the protagonist, who said he was worried about her. He says that they will spend the whole day studying so that the girl can make up for lost time. After going through some exercises, Saki managed to get them right, but Nagisa had no idea how to solve them. However, ashamed to admit it, she went to the bathroom and started researching how to learn the subject. After 30 minutes, they went to check on her, but she preferred to say that she still needed to use the restroom rather than let them think she was stupid. Thinking she understood, she went downstairs, but when she did the exercises, she got them all wrong, and Naoya tried to cheer her up, but she preferred to go back to the bathroom and stayed there for another 3 hours. The next day, when they were about to go to class, Saki told them that their relationship is a secret, so they'll have to pretend they don't know Nagisa. In the classroom, people were surprised that the student had been absent for so long, and the protagonist was worried because the girl was alone. So he went to introduce himself to her, but when he saw his beloved's sad face, Naoya was about to tell everyone the truth. However, Saki was quicker and managed to knock him out before he could say anything. On the terrace, they started arguing about it, and Saki revealed why he wants to keep it a secret so much, as he believes people will think he doesn't care about her because he has another girlfriend. Even after that moment, he still wanted to explain to everyone what had happened, causing the fight to continue. But Nagisa showed up and said that she'll be fine, as she's happy to be able to move in with them. What's more, she's made lunch for all of them, but since they can't eat together and she doesn't want other people to get suspicious because they have the same food, she's going to eat alone in the bathroom. This made the other two very emotional, and Saki apologized for trying to pretend she didn't know Nagisa. However, she still wants to keep the secret, so they will start doing things together and hiding. The three of them tried to eat in a high place that was forbidden, but because they made too much noise, they had to leave. So they had to run away from a teacher while they thought about where they could eat without being seen. Nagisa said she knew a place, but when she took them there, it was a dirty and smelly bathroom, so Saki didn't want to eat there. So Nagisa thought of another place, which was also a restroom, but even though it was cleaner, Saki didn't want it because it was a restroom, and since it was a women's restroom, she took Naoya out of there, where some girls ended up seeing the two of them doing it and suspected that the couple were doing something adult. Having no other place, the protagonist thought of the storeroom of the sports court, but Nagisa was worried that their secret would be discovered because she wanted to eat with the two of them. However, Naoya tried to cheer her up and took the girl to the place, so after they went inside and tidied up, they were able to eat together, and Nagisa was very happy. Over the next few days, Nagisa prepared one better lunch than another to Saki's delight, but she did it all to try and make her beloved happy, saying that she would even look for a place to work if they needed money. However, the protagonist wasn't far behind, saying that he would take part in dubious medical tests or work on a fishing boat if they needed it. After seeing them say this, Saki realized that Nagisa really likes Naoya, and when she started thinking about the things she did for her boyfriend, she realized that she doesn't do anything, she's just spoiled by him. As a result, She became afraid that the protagonist would start to like Nagisa more, so she ran away. Trying to think of something to do for her boyfriend, she could only think of dirty things. But when she arrived and asked him directly what he wanted, Naoya said he didn't want anything, but asked if she wanted anything, and when he offered to buy her some cake, she accepted. However, while she was eating, she realized that this was wrong, so she went to the market. But when she was going to buy the ingredients to prepare something, she got distracted and only bought a packet of sweets. Because of this, she decided to make curry with what she had in the fridge, but while she was waiting, she forgot that she was cooking, and when she smelled it burning, she realized that she had failed once again. Worried that she was being a bad girlfriend and would lose her boyfriend, Saki went for her last option. So she went to his room ready to do it, but contrary to what she had imagined, Naoya said no because he didn't want to lie to Nagisa. This left the girl in shock, and the only conclusion she could think of was that he didn't want to because she didn't have big melons like Nagisa. Because of this, she left and went back home, which is right next to the protagonist's house, as they are neighbors. Hearing all the noise, Nagisa went to see what had happened, and when the protagonist told her what had happened, she was happy that she would be able to be alone with her beloved. She wanted to be alone with Naoya, but thinking about his feelings, she decided to help him with whatever he needed. However, he said he needed to sort it out himself, so he wouldn't sleep until he had sorted things out with her. Naoya spent the whole night writing several love letters to Saki, but the girl wouldn't listen. It didn't work out, so he spent a lot of money on the game she likes, but ended up not getting any rare cards. So later on, he bought her several cakes, which again didn't work out. 2 days passed and the boy still hadn't slept, and even after several attempts, nothing worked. This was making Nagisa worried, so she tried to convince him that she could make his days happy without Saki being there. However, he said that he had decided to date both of them, so he wouldn't give up on either of them. With that, she remembered the past and thought that this kindness is why she likes him. So she decided to help. Calling out to Saki through the window, Nagisa grabbed the protagonist's hand and put it on his chest, which made the girl furious, so she jumped into Naoya's house. However, this was all Nagisa's plan so that the two of them could talk for real. Basically, all this drama is because Saki thinks that Nagisa has better melons than she does, as well as being much better at homework. She tried to run away and leave the two of them alone, but Naoya wouldn't let that happen. Saki wants him to ask her to do something, but as the boy can't, he ends up getting punched. She wants to be useful to him, so the protagonist explained that he has several things he wants her to do. But since he is responsible for starting this relationship, he feels he has to do his best to make them happy. Nagisa said that he understood Saki and couldn't stand the fact that the protagonist was trying to do everything himself. With that, he realized that he was being an idiot and started telling her everything he wanted Saki to do, which basically included things like seeing her in a bikini and doing it as a threesome. So once everything was okay, she moved back in with them. During the evening, Nagisa prepared a special dinner to celebrate Saki's return, but since he hadn't slept for 3 nights, the protagonist went to rest. While they were talking, Saki made it clear that Nagisa is her rival, but when the girl said she wanted to be her friend, she couldn't take it and said she wanted that too. Wondering how they could do it, Saki said she liked games, so the two started playing together on their cell phones. They barely started and Nagisa had already died, as she's terrible at this game, which left Saki impressed, as Nagisa said she'd played for over 1,000 hours. Instead of being angry, Saki was happy because she could carry the girl and show her how good she is. With that, they wanted at all costs to make Nagisa kill someone, and after much difficulty they ended up finding an AFK player, but even with the opponent stopped, Nagisa missed and hit Saki, who thought it was funny. Naoya woke up and saw the two of them having fun together, which made him happy. To train, Nagisa decided to watch some videos, until when they saw a YouTuber, the protagonist realized that the girl's uniform was the same as their school uniform. The next day, while they were having lunch together and hiding, Nagisa realized that the YouTuber had changed the thumbnail of that video. While Saki was commenting on how careless the girl was, someone appeared through the window and already thought that they were doing something dirty. So when Naoya went to explain, he ended up telling her that the 3 of them are dating, and the girl found that interesting. Seeing that Saki would like to keep this a secret, she started to play around a bit, so much so that the protagonist offered her money so that she wouldn't say anything. However, she said she didn't need any money, as she makes more than that every month. This made the protagonist think indecent things about her, but Nagisa interrupted him and asked if the girl recorded videos for the internet. This made her nervous, as she didn't want anyone to find out who she was, so, having the upper hand, Saki started to joke around a bit. However, seeing that she was exaggerating, she said that now they were even, and Naoya commented that he didn't want a cycle of sadness, so even if she told him about them, no one would reveal her secret, even though in reality, Saki said that he would tell her if she said anything. The girl understood that they were good people, so she had a brilliant idea. She told the protagonist that she would also be his girlfriend. Naoya found the offer tempting, but he ended up rejecting her, which left the girl in shock. She couldn't believe that she had been rejected by him, who said that all he wants is to see his girlfriend happy. So she decided to appeal and, taking off part of her school uniform, told him that she was a size G and that he could squeeze her if he kept her. However, Naoya said that he doesn't care if they're big, because what he wants is to squeeze his girlfriends. What's more, when they were leaving, she realized that the three of them lived together, so she said that she would also move in with them to make him fall in love with her, which the protagonist denied, and the girl ran off in shame. When they got home, they realized that there was a tent in the backyard, and Mariko was inside. Saki asked them if they should call the police, but they didn't and decided to let the girl stay there, as she would probably give up living in a tent for a long time. On the first night, the weather turned cold and she started shivering a lot, thinking she was going to freeze to death. Naoya told her to give up, but she wasn't willing to, so she ordered a more expensive sleeping bag to withstand the cold. Basically, her plan is to buy everything she needs to stay comfortable. And to raise the money for this, she will record more videos. Since it was so cold, she started recording exercises to warm herself up and always showing off her body a lot to attract more views. However, when she stopped moving, the cold returned, so she had to spend the whole night moving, until in the morning her orders arrived. However, when she went to brag to the protagonist, he said that she really needed a bath. Researching how to do this while in a tent, she created a makeshift shower and even managed to take a hot bath, which impressed the others. As night fell, Nagisa and Saki discussed the situation and apparently came up with an idea. While Naoya was showering, they came in and showed him that they were wearing bikinis. Basically, their plan was to make him happy so that he wouldn't want to date Marika too. Nagisa ended up slipping and falling on Naoya's face, which gave an idea to Saki, who couldn't do what she wanted because she wasn't the right size. But because she moved too much, her bikini ended up falling down and he saw more than he should have. Naoya didn't seem as happy as he should have been, but he explained that he was thinking about how to resolve the situation with Marika. But when Nagisa told him what she was feeling, the protagonist understood that paying attention to them was what he should do. The next day, they realized that Marika was used to living in a tent, so Naoya went on the attack and told the girl to go home. However, she said she wouldn't give up until he fell in love with her, so they started arguing. Later, when Marika needed to go to the toilet in a nearby store, Naoya had an idea, so he called someone to collect objects that will no longer be used, but Saki tried to stop him, saying that this was too radical. However, when the protagonist confessed that he's afraid of falling in love with the girl too, it made them worried, but they showed that they trust him. However, Naoya said that he doesn't trust himself, so Saki gave him an arm lock. The protagonist explained that even though he promised Saki that he would make her happy, he ended up falling in love with Nagisa, so he knows that he's weak-minded. So even though he knows it's pathetic, he wants to make an effort to love only the two of them. With that, Saki hit him once more, but gave him the cell phone to do with as he saw fit. While the girls dismantled their things to take them away, the protagonist went to Marika to save time. However, when he found her, he couldn't disguise the fact that something strange was going on, and when she arrived, she saw that they were taking her things away. When she tried to take it back, Naoya held her down, so, unable to get him to let go, she started shouting that he was doing wrong to her. But even though his neighbors might find it strange, Naoya wouldn't let her go. With no other choice, she stepped on his foot, but the protagonist held her back anyway. Naoya says she'll pay for it all, but she says it cost 1 million yen, even though it cost 200,000. Contrary to what she had imagined, the protagonist said he would pay, but in return, he wanted her to stay away from him. After they took the items, the argument continued and Naoya said he would do anything to make his girlfriend happy, who said they would work to help him pay for everything. However, seeing how much he cares about his girlfriends, Marika became even more passionate, and when Naoya handed over a receipt saying he would pay for it, the girl tore it up, saying once again that she would never go home. Suddenly, Marika's father appeared, so she told him she was living at Naoya's house. When the man asked if he was her boyfriend, the protagonist said no, as he already has 2 girlfriends who are very important to him. Her father found it strange that his daughter liked someone who has 2 girlfriends. In addition, Nagisa and Saki realize that Marika has fallen in love with Naoya, so it won't be good if he starts to like her. So they went to him to take the chance to get the girl out of there. Naoya told Marika's father to take her back home, as he wasn't interested. However, when the man asked if the protagonist didn't find his daughter attractive, Naoya confessed that he did, but ended up telling him that she had a channel with over 50,000 subscribers. This made the man realize what kind of videos his daughter made, which made him very embarrassed. However, as the protagonist is honest with everything he says, he defended Marika once again and said how hard the girl works to maintain her channel. He tried to take his daughter back home, but she wouldn't leave, so he decided to ban her and was about to delete her channel. However, Naoya was quicker to stop him, saying how hard she had worked to get where she was. They got into an argument, and the protagonist said he would protect her, so Marika fell more in love with him than ever, but decided to go home for the time being because she wanted to think about things. During the evening, the girls were talking about Marika and couldn't believe that she had really fallen in love with Naoya, so they were afraid that the girl would confess to him. So Saki told them that they needed to do something, but she had no idea what to do. After that, the girl went to her mother's house to get more clothes, until her mother asked how things were going between her and Naoya. Saki didn't tell her mother that it was a triple relationship, and when the woman asked if they were already doing it, the girl was very embarrassed. However, when her mother found out that they hadn't even kissed, she was incredulous that he had managed to hold back even though he lived with such a pretty girl. Saki said that they had had a few moments when they almost did it, but thinking that Naoya was too rational, she was afraid that she would never do it with him. So her mother decided to help, and later, while the protagonist was studying, she showed up dressed as a bunny. Naoya didn't understand what was going on, but when he looked into it, he said he really liked it. She wanted him to jump on her, but the boy was true to his promise to his 2 girlfriends, so she jumped on him. Seeing that her clothes were going to fall off, Naoya held her back, but Saki thought he was trying to touch where he shouldn't, so she punched him in the face. Despite this, she was very happy with what had happened and ran back to her room. The next morning, Saki was very happy, and Nagisa didn't understand what had happened to her. However, while washing her clothes, she saw Saki's bunny outfit, so she went to the protagonist to ask what it meant. Naoya said that nothing had happened between them, but that Saki looked very pretty. So Nagisa also decided to dress up to receive compliments from her boyfriend. Right away, the protagonist asked her to call him master, and once that happened, he couldn't get enough of the cuteness. They continued to do this for a long time, and when she told him to ask for anything, Naoya said he wanted her to be his maid once a week because she was too beautiful, and he didn't want that to be the only time it happened, which made her extremely happy. At dinner, the 2 girls were very cheerful, but Nagisa ended up accidentally calling Naoya master, which Saki noticed, but thought it was all in her head. The next day, Marika was in front of the protagonist's office because she really wanted to talk to him, until Saki showed up. She almost revealed the girl's secret by calling her Marika, because that's the name of her channel. With that, she asked him to call her Rika, and when Saki asked if she liked Naoya, he appeared, where we see that she can't hide her feelings. She and the protagonist went somewhere else to talk, so when they got to the roof, he apologized for having treated her badly. Because of this, Naoya took off his clothes and said that he would let her take embarrassing photos of him. However, she didn't accept this and was very happy with his consideration. Naoya said she was very pretty, but he already has 2 girlfriends, so he offered to find her a nice guy to date. After he'd said everything he wanted, she thanked him for saving her channel, which Naoya didn't understand and said she didn't need to thank him. However, she explained how important it was to her, and that it wasn't just to show off her body. In fact, she only uses it in thumbnails and has always strived for quality content, which is why it's so important to her. Marika said that she was very happy when Naoya protected her, and as he continued to be nice, she had to run out of there to avoid falling in love even more. What's more, Saki was nearby and overheard everything that happened. The next day, Marika once again went to talk to Naoya and the whole class started to pay attention. Suddenly, a boy who was interested in her asked the protagonist what his relationship with her was. Naoya couldn't explain, so grabbing his arm, Marika said that the two of them had a very special relationship, which made the boy leave. Angrily, Saki told her to get away from the protagonist and said that there was no room for anyone in her relationship with Naoya. Upon hearing this, Marika came up to her and said that Nagisa was already in their relationship. So, unable to respond, Saki told Naoya not to leave her side while she was at school. The protagonist ended up misunderstanding the situation, so, thinking that Saki wanted more time with him, the boy hugged her and said that if she wanted, they could become one, which made Marika run away. When the teacher arrived, he asked what was going on to make Saki sit on Naoya's lap. He explained that she was feeling lonely, so the teacher started the lesson as if nothing had happened. With the next class being physical education, Saki had no choice but to change with Naoya so that Marika wouldn't be alone with him. However, she was too embarrassed to take off her clothes in front of him, and Marika was at the door wanting to get in at all costs, until she received an anonymous message. Saki didn't know what to do, until Nagisa sent her a message, saying that he got Marika out of there, because she was the one who'd sent the anonymous message, telling the girl to go to the terrace so that her secret wouldn't be revealed. At home, Nagisa commented that she was jealous, as she would love to be hugged so much by the one she loves. So when the protagonist arrived, Saki told him that Nagisa wanted to be hugged by him, so that's what he did, and Saki felt strange, because even though she didn't want to look, she was getting very excited about doing it. Because of this, Saki was afraid to enjoy something as bizarre as this. However, just when she thought the two of them were going too far, she punched Naoya. The next day, Marika followed Naoya and Saki to school together, and her advances on the protagonist were getting more and more aggressive. On the way back, she did the same and Saki wouldn't let her in the house. But, not being a complete idiot, the protagonist realized what was going on. So he asked his girlfriends if Marika might be liking him. Not knowing what to do, Saki asked for time, so he took Nagisa into the kitchen to talk things over. With that, Saki decided to do what she could to fool him, so she told Naoya that he was thinking he was a dull guy who was just lucky that she and Nagisa liked him. He believed her, but still found Marika's behavior strange, so Saki told him that the girl was in heat and would get with anyone. She said that this happens to women from time to time, and the protagonist was shocked not to know about something so important. Naoya was fooled, however, and asked if it also happened to both of them. To get rid of it, Saki said that the desire was proportional to the size of her breasts, so the protagonist went to Nagisa and told her to speak up when she was suffering from it. Having no other choice, she went along with the lie and said that she would count on him when the time came. The next day, Marika once again went to talk to Naoya, and when she was asking him to help her study, the protagonist stood up and apologized to her for thinking that the girl liked him. This made Marika very embarrassed, so she pulled him aside to talk on the terrace. Saki and Nagisa went after them, and Marika was wondering how the protagonist knew that she liked him. However, when Naoya said he misunderstood, the girl was at a loss. The protagonist said that he knew she was in heat and couldn't control herself, which made the girl very angry, calling him an idiot for believing it. Not giving up, Saki said that Marika was too ashamed to admit the truth. However, Marika said it wasn't true, but she couldn't explain why she was acting strangely towards him. Not knowing what to say, Marika said she had a cold, so Saki continued to say that she was ashamed and asked the protagonist to accept her lie. However, it didn't take long for the protagonist to show that he still thought she was in heat. So after punching him, Marika asked him what he would do if she liked him. Naoya said that he wants to make his girlfriend happy, so he would reject her. With that, Marika told him to go back to the classroom, and we realized that she was very sad. However, saying that she doesn't care if he doesn't want to, Marika said that she will make the protagonist like her no matter what. After everything that had happened, Saki was relieved, until Marika entered their classroom and said out loud that she was in love with Naoya. Taking his hand, Marika led him to the sports warehouse and Saki asked what she was planning. Marika said that she would keep trying until the protagonist agreed to date her, but Naoya still doesn't believe it's possible, because for him, there's no way a girl can like a guy who has 2 girlfriends. Trying to explain herself, she says that he's nice, like the time he saved her from her father. For Naoya, that still wasn't enough to like someone, so she started talking about the things he did to make her fall in love. However, the protagonist asked her to give up on him, which she clearly won't do, especially since after saying that she can't get him out of her head, she kissed him. This left his girlfriends in shock, and Marika said she did it to make him think of her, so she said it was his first kiss and that she won't accept a 3-way relationship, so she wants him to give up Saki and Nagisa to be with her alone. After the girl ran off, we see that Saki's friend was listening to all this, and as they left the school, the love triangle was speechless. Saki asked the protagonist how it felt to be kissed by another woman in front of his girlfriends, which made her and Nagisa very sad. Naoya had no explanation for what had happened and said he was embarrassed by the situation, but asked if they wanted to kiss him now. Because of this, Saki hid him and Nagisa didn't want it either, as she doesn't want a kiss in compensation. When he got up, Saki asked him if Marika's kiss made him feel excited, but he said he didn't feel anything, he was just surprised. They then said that they had to have a remarkable kiss with him in order to beat Marika. With that, the two promised that they would kiss Naoya when he was crazy about them. The protagonist then got down on his knees and apologized to the two by hitting his head on the floor. When he got up, Naoya said that he loves them both, then saying that they needed to get closer, he asked them out on a date, which is absurd that they haven't done yet. So not knowing where to go, Saki suggested a trip to the hot springs, and so the meeting was arranged. With the day of the trip approaching, Saki was anxious because things were bad and she just wanted to have a good trip. So after telling Nagisa to relax, she told him to buy everything they needed. As she thought about the situation she was in, the girl wondered what would be best to buy, but she couldn't get it out of her head that she wanted to kiss the protagonist. So when she saw some candies to improve her breath, she decided to get them, which apparently Saki thought the same thing, as she did the same as Nagisa. Even though she had been told to relax, Saki wanted to go ahead and kiss the protagonist first. With that, Nagisa decided that she would give Saki her full support during the trip. When they went shopping for clothes, Nagisa chose a very ugly t-shirt, but she gave the excuse that she wants to look ugly, so Naoya wouldn't want her. However, when she chose an outfit for Saki, we realized that she has terrible taste in clothes, which even the protagonist noticed. After they had bought everything, we discovered that Marika was following them and found out where they were going to travel. Also, while Saki was packing her bags, Shino, her best friend, called to find out how things were going, so she decided to travel to see if Naoya was cheating on her friend. On the train, the protagonist was very happy to be traveling with two pretty girls. Wanting to show that he only wanted to be with the two girls, he ended up talking too loudly, and everyone there started to stare at them. As they left, Naoya had the idea of walking hand in hand with the two girls, which once again drew the attention of the people on the way back and made the girls very embarrassed, and this lasted until they arrived at the hotel where they would be staying. However, when they were in the lobby, they realized that Marika was also there, but not just her, as Shino had also shown up. The girl wasted no time, and the first thing she asked was whether Naoya was cheating on Saki with Nagisa. In order not to tell her about the triple relationship, Nagisa said that she was traveling with Marika and they were only there by coincidence, which she forced the girl to accept because of her secret, so they all ran to their rooms. However, Naoya and Saki didn't know what they were going to do, until Nagisa sent a message saying that she would stay with Marika so that their secret wouldn't be revealed. The protagonist didn't like this at all, so he decided that he would do something. Meanwhile, Marika and Nagisa were getting ready to take a bath in a hot spring until the protagonist showed up. He wanted Nagisa to go with him to his room, so he ran out onto the roof. However, the girl was very embarrassed and didn't want to get in the way of Saki's plans, so she ran inside and locked the door. Suddenly, Marika threw Naoya into the water and said that now she had the opportunity she wanted. The protagonist was afraid that she wanted to do something obscene, but she was embarrassed and said that it would only happen if they started dating. Marika asked him how he felt after the kiss, but she was shocked to discover that he was only surprised. Naoya tried to leave, but the girl wouldn't let him because she wants to talk to him, and in her mind, if he gets to know her better, he'll fall in love. After she insisted a lot, he ended up agreeing to talk for 5 minutes, so she started to talk a bit more about herself. They continued talking, where she revealed that she has a little sister, until when they mentioned her channel, Naoya revealed that he likes the videos, so he watches them a lot. This made Marika extremely happy, and the protagonist seemed to have feelings for her. But as the 5 minutes ran out, her towel fell off and Naoya took off running. However, while running along the roof, she ended up slipping and fell into the women's hot springs, where she bumped into Shino wearing nothing but a towel. She thought the protagonist was a pervert, but he said it was just an accident. Seizing the opportunity, she asked Naoya if he was seeing another girl. Meanwhile, Saki was wondering how Nagisa was, until she ran into her. Turning to Naoya, he refused to answer the question, so they started arguing, as she suspects that they are in a 3-way relationship. When he asked if he would have the courage to talk to Saki's parents about it, she went on to talk about the problems of having a triple relationship. With that, she asked him once again if he had 2 girlfriends, but Naoya tried to run away, so he wouldn't have to answer. Shino didn't let him, until her towel started to slip and they both fell. Just then, Nagisa and Saki came in to take a shower and saw Shino undressed on top of the protagonist with his pants down. This made Saki very sad because she thought she was being betrayed, and Nagisa was very quick to grab her cell phone and take pictures to blackmail Shino in case she tried to meddle in their lives. That way, because everyone had seen how she came into the world, Shino ran off in shame. Saki hit Naoya for having his pants down in the ladies' room, and even though the situation was resolved, Nagisa was still going to stay in the room with Marika, which they didn't understand why. Saki understood that this was because of Nagisa's promise to her, but the girl said that she was getting in the way and was afraid that Saki would get sick of their relationship, as this could be the end of everything, so she asked them not to worry about her. However, Naoya said he wouldn't accept that, but before he could say anything else, other girls appeared, so Saki punched him and threw him into the men's bath. Before Nagisa left, Saki held her back, saying that she didn't like it either and thought Nagisa was being too extreme with the whole thing. As a result, the girl decided to tell a secret about her past, which she asked Saki not to tell Naoya. In the past, her grades weren't even 10% of the total, and she had to study much harder than the average person just to get an average grade. To learn anything, she needs a lot more time than others, so she began to think that it might be good if she worked hard to become average. She had tried everything to find something she was really good at, but even though she spent a lot of time on it, she never became good. This made her sad, because it's hard to try so hard and not see any improvement. And when the school entrance exams came around, she met the love of her life. On her way to school, she saw Naoya with Saki, until the boy asked her to go out with him when they became high schoolers. Even though she refused and hit him, the boy didn't seem like he was going to give up, and Nagisa discovered that he did this every month. While taking the test, she wondered why the boy wouldn't give up, and when they finished, she found out his name. Nagisa couldn't stop thinking about Naoya and wanted to be pushy like him, so when she found out that she went to the same school as him, she realized that she was in love. She even thought about giving up because she knew he liked someone else, but thinking that he wouldn't give up, Nagisa decided that she would do her best to make Naoya like her. Because of this, she spent those 3 months training and learning to cook, in order to look better and win him over. She even got a job because she needed money to buy good ingredients, so Nagisa changed a lot and was happy to discover that she could do it by working hard. In this way, she believes that Naoya saved her, so her greatest wish is to continue in this relationship with him. However, as the men's bath is very close by, the protagonist overheard everything, even though Nagisa didn't want him to. When she left, Naoya showed that he had overheard the conversation because he tried to cheer her up, so the girl ran off and he chased after her. In addition, they ended up passing Shino and Marika, so they all joined the race after Nagisa. However, because she had trained so hard, the other girls couldn't keep up with her speed, while the protagonist tried to get close while discussing the situation. Naoya thinks it's unfair for her to hold back and want him to give priority to Saki, because he loves them both equally. She was going so fast that he couldn't keep up either, so he fell to the ground. However, his willpower is unshakable, so the protagonist kept running, calling Nagisa an idiot. He said that if she acts like that, she'll always be treated like number 2, so she confirmed that she wants to be number 1 for him. Even though she was far away, Naoya shouted to the girl that the two of them are number 1 in his heart. In addition, he jumped from a great height to reach her, so he explained how he felt and hugging her said that he wouldn't leave her alone, no matter what. Suddenly, the other girls arrived by cab and Shino asked once again what their relationship was, but Nagisa realized that to be number 1, she shouldn't try to hide anymore. So after kissing Naoya's cheek, she said that she was also dating him. Saki then asked if Nagisa really wanted to fight over Naoya, and when the girl said yes, Saki told her to go all out, so the three of them ran off. After that, they had a lot of fun during the days they still had at the hotel, and when they returned home, Nagisa didn't seem to be holding it together anymore. Then, on another day, they went to Shino's house because she wanted to talk to them about the situation. She said she was disappointed with Naoya, but he said that after meeting Nagisa, he couldn't stop dating her. Shino asked how Saki accepted all this and what the advantages of the situation were, but all she could say was that Nagisa's food is very good. Before they left, she asked one last question, whether Naoya thought he could make them both happy. The protagonist said that he had thought a lot about what she had said to him earlier, so he intended to tell Saki's mother about their relationship, showing that he was completely committed to their happiness. However, Saki doesn't like this idea at all and says she won't let him do it. When they left, we saw something unusual. In reality, Shino didn't want the protagonist to be with anyone other than Saki, because she's also in love with him, and now that she's seen that Naoya can have more than one woman, it's even harder to give up on him. So, she plans to make them stop this relationship so that she can give up. The next day, everything was fine between them until Marika showed up to bother them, and they all got stuck to Naoya. And with Shino also showing up, the first season of Girlfriend ends. Well folks, that was the recap of Girlfriend. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you later.